in today's class, we'll be looking at Ishvara pranidhana, or surrendering to the divine. And whatever that means to you, surrendering to the divine or surrendering in your yoga practice, regardless of how you define divine, yoga philosophy encourages us to recognize that it's larger than ourselves. So for this class, we'll start in a tabletop position. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. As we inhale, lifting the head, lifting the tailbone, letting our belly drop down to the mat. As we exhale, rounding through the spine, dropping the head down, pushing those ribs up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. This time we'll bring the right leg in. So as we inhale, lifting the right knee and lower leg up off the mat. Lifting the head, dropping the belly down to the mat. As we exhale, rounding through the spine, bringing the knee in center. See how close we can get the knee and the nose together. Inhaling. Exhaling. Once more, inhaling. And exhaling. Dropping that right knee down, switching legs. So left leg this time, inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, rounding. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Dropping that left knee down. Adjusting the hands, adjusting the legs. Step the right foot between the hands. Tuck the left toes, lift that knee up for a moment, and then bring it back down. That's just to ensure that the kneecap is in a good spot. And if you wish, you can bring some blocks here either side of the right foot. We'll start to lift the body up. Make any adjustments that you need here. I like to wiggle my front foot forward a little bit more. If you can, bring the shoulders over top of the hips. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Start to sink down, stretching through the front of that left thigh. You can also bring your hands up onto the right thigh if you want, if that's more comfortable, rather than using blocks, or if you don't have any blocks available to you.
Ishvara pranidhana means surrender to the divine. If you are religious, this will be an easy niyama for you to understand. The connection to the divine may be God. If you don't follow organized faith, you can think about it as being a broader experience of the divine. Even as an atheist, you can derive a sense of divine by embracing divinity in the wonder of the natural world or in the sacredness of life.
One more breath here. Bringing the hands back down to the mat. Releasing the hips a little, and we'll move that right foot out to the right. Bring the left hand to the center of the mat, right hand on top of the right thigh, and turning towards the right. Looking out to the right side, or if the neck is okay, you can start to turn and look as if you're looking over your shoulder, whichever's most comfortable for you.
Regardless of how divine is defined, yoga philosophy encourages us to recognize something larger than ourselves and to surrender to that something. Yoga means union. Surrendering is acknowledging the connection between ourselves and that divine something that is greater than ourselves.
One more breath. Turning back to the front. Releasing the hips slowly. And just moving forward and back a couple of times to release any sticky spots in there. And releasing that right leg back. And just wiggle the hips side to side a little. And stepping that left foot forward between the hands. Tuck the right toes under, lift that right knee up off the mat for a moment, and then back down. Grabbing the box if you'd like some blocks. Lifting the body up, shoulders over top of the hips. Making any adjustments if you wish. Breathing space to any tight areas. And exhaling, softening.
Ishvara pranidhana is the tenet of yoga that reminds us that even though our ego tells us that we're important, we are smaller than the collective. We are smaller than the divine. Ishvara pranidhana is a reminder that we alone are not captaining the boat. We might be steering and choosing the route, but we cannot control the weather.
And one more breath. Releasing the blocks. And wiggling that left foot out to the left. Bring the right hand to the center of the mat. Bring the left hand on top of the left thigh. And turning to the left. And one more breath. Turning back. Releasing the hips. Wiggling forward and back a few times. And releasing that left leg when you're ready. Then wiggle the hips side to side a little, like you're wagging your tail. All right, and then we'll come over and sit on our bottom. Bending through the knees, draw the heels in a little, and we'll bring the hands behind us, about 5, maybe 10 centimeters behind us. Ideally, fingers pointing in. Some people prefer put the hands the other way, totally up to you. Rolling the shoulder blades back and down. Try to stay open through the chest. So squeezing those shoulder blades in together. When you're ready, as we inhale, we're just going to lift our hips up, lift our bottom up off the mat. So doing a reverse tabletop. Yeah? Looking up to the ceiling. And then when you're ready, releasing back down. All right, we'll do that again. Rolling the shoulder blades back and down. As we inhale, lifting the hips up off the mat. Take a breath here. And then releasing the hips back down. Take a little breather. We'll do that one more time. And this time, if you want, you can extend the legs. So we'll try and do that with straight legs this time if you want, or you can stay with the bent knees. So again, rolling those shoulder blades back and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Make sure the chest is nice and open. As we inhale, lifting the hips up. Holding for as long as you can. One more breath. And then with control, releasing the body back down. All right, give the arms a little shake. Give the legs a little shake if they need. All right, and now grabbing the strap. You've got one. And placing them around both feet. Bending through the right knee, we'll draw the heel in and then drop the right knee out to the right. Making sure our hips are square to the front edge of the mat. Inhale, the arms up alongside the head. As you exhale, hinging from the hips, reaching the arms forward. And then just placing the hands wherever they're comfortable. They can be somewhere on the thigh, the shin, the foot, alongside the foot. Or if you want, grabbing onto that strap and pulling back the hands.
This rest is a momentary surrender. Surrender to the stillness and to your breath. As you breathe with others, remember that you are part of something greater. This community, this world, all of humanity. Notice this divine connection.
One more breath. And walking the hands back. Drawing that right knee back in, stretching the leg long. And bending through the left knee, draw the left knee into the body, drop it out to the left, making sure the hips are square again. Inhale, the arms up alongside the head. Exhale, hinge from the hips, reach the arms forward, and again just place them wherever they're comfortable, somewhere on the leg, towards the foot, alongside the leg, grab up to the strap, whichever you prefer. And one more breath. Releasing the hands, walking the hands back up to meet the body. Bring that left knee back in, extend the leg. Bring both legs together. Inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinging forward, reaching both arms forward. Again, placing the hands wherever they're comfortable. Imagining that we're pushing our feet into a wall, so we want to be engaging through the leg muscles. We don't want the feet to be going floppy. One more breath. Walking the hands back in. And this time, we'll spin through the knees. Bring the weight back onto the hips, or onto the back of the hips, so you're not sitting on the sit bones like how you would normally here. You're kind of rolling back a little, but make sure this lower back is nice and straight and up and down. First option, bring the hands underneath the thighs and just balancing or lifting the heels up off the mat, balancing the heels up off the mat. If that's all right, next option is to lift the lower legs up so that they're more at a 90-degree angle. And then the third option is to straighten the legs all together, but we're still trying to keep those thighs close into the body. It's a little bit easier if you can reach the toes. Another option here, if you can't reach the toes, is use a strap around the soles of the feet. So just choose whatever level you feel comfortable with today. But I do encourage you to give it a go. Just see how it goes. You will find that there's a nice counterbalance between the legs being forward and the back leaning back.
Surrender looks like a lot of different things.
So just taking a few breaths here.
It could look like surrendering to what your body can do today, right now, without resisting or pushing unsafely.
One more breath. And then with control, releasing the legs. Going back to sit on the sit bones. Stretch the legs out long. And we'll place the strap off to one side. Coming back to a tabletop position. And what we'll do is we'll just bring our hips back to our heels for a moment. Bring our forearms down to the mat. And just bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. And this is the perfect distance for this arm position that we're going to do next. So with opposite hand to opposite elbow, try not to move the elbows. Just move the forearms and the hands and place the palms of the hands together, interlace the fingers. Next, what we'll do is we'll bring the crown of the head down onto the mat, and we want the back of the head to be resting against the hands. So the head will be in between the hands, kind of. So just placing the head onto the mat and just rolling the head forward and back a little. You can stay here, just rolling the head forward and back if that's where you're at today. If you feel comfortable with having the weight on top of the head, you can just rest here with minimal effort. But ensuring that the back of the neck is straight so that your weight isn't too far forward onto the forehead or too far back to the crown of the head. We just want a point in between, and you will feel by rolling the head, you'll find that perfect point where it feels comfortable. So feel free to stay here, or if you want to move on, tuck the toes, and we're just going to lift the knees up off the mat. So pressing into the arms, taking a bit of pressure off the head and the neck. If that's all right, you can start to walk the legs in a little, lift the hips up a little bit higher. We're just going to stay here for a few breaths in this inversion. One more. And then walking the feet back. Bring the knees back down. And wherever you are, bring the hips back down to the heels. Bring the forehead down to the mat. Just rest here for a moment. All right, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Lift the head up. Bring back to sit up. And we'll just come over and sit down again. Scooching forward on the mat. We're going to lay down on the back. Rest here for a moment. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the legs together, bring the arms alongside the body. Take a breath here. And then lifting both legs up. Just lifting both legs straight up, heels pointing up to the ceiling. Bring the toes back down towards the legs, towards the body. Again, imagining that we're pressing our feet into a wall. Want to be nice and engaged with these leg muscles. If you wish, you can grab onto the legs somewhere, encourage the legs a little bit closer towards you. Again, you can also use the strap for this. But just meeting that point of resistance along the back of the legs, not pushing too hard, stretching through those hamstrings, they're a bit tight. One more breath here. All right, now you can stay here or if you wish, or if you'd like, we will continue on and we'll bring the legs up over the head and try and get the feet down to the floor. If they can't quite reach the floor, feel free to have a block or something to put your feet on. And the best way to do this is just to rock the legs back and forth a little bit, press into the arms and lifting the hips up and over. I'm just going to move down the mat a little. When you're ready, rolling up and over. And bring the palms of the hands into the lower back, supporting the lower back. And also imagine that someone is lifting you up from the hip bones. So you don't want to be crunching the body down. You want to be lengthening through the back. Tucking the chin into the chest, making sure that neck is nice and straight along the mat. Roll the shoulder blades in if you need. One more breath. And releasing the hands, rolling the spine back down. Leaving the legs up for a moment. And if your legs have been up the whole time, bring the arms down alongside the body, palms facing down. Tuck the chin into the chest a little and lifting the head up, keeping the shoulders down. We'll try and release the legs, keeping them together with as much control as we can. Lifting the head helps keep our lower back nice and straight on the mat. A little jiggling is good. It means your abs are working strongly. Keep breathing. Once the heels touch the mat, release the head and shoulders back down. Take a breather here for a moment, let the legs relax. All right, bring the legs back to center, bend through the right knee, pull the right knee into the body. Bring the hands around the right knee, give that neck a little squeeze into the body. And releasing the hands, bring the arms out to shoulder height, making your body and your arms a T shape. And then bring that right leg across the body to the left, rolling up and over onto that left hip. If you like, you can bring your left hand down to the outside of the right leg, encouraging that right knee down. Also trying to encourage the right shoulder down to the mat. So finding a point and balance between those 2 points. If the neck is okay, turning the head, looking along the right arm.
Here, there is nothing to do but to soften and yield. Release, knowing that you're safe. You are held. Surrender, knowing that there is something more than you.
And one more breath. Turning the head back to center, rolling back onto the back, extending the right leg long, bending through the left knee, draw the left knee into the body, give that leg a little squeeze. Releasing the hands and bring that left leg across the body to the right. Rolling up and over. Bring the right hand down to the outside of left leg. Encourage that down towards the floor. Left shoulder. Trying to stay nice and heavy through there. Turning the head if it's okay. And one more breath. Turning the head back to center, rolling back onto the back. Letting the arms and the legs roll away from each other. Getting yourself nice and comfy. Find a spot on the ceiling to focus on. And then soften your gaze on that spot in the ceiling. And if you're comfortable closing the eyes, with the eyes closed, rolling the eyes down, imagine that you're down to your body, down to your feet. Hold your eyes in that position for about 10 seconds, and then suddenly let the eyes go, let them soften. And coming back to the breath, breathing in through the nose, back of the throat, down into the lungs, out of the lungs, back of the throat, out through the nose. And also just a gentle awareness of the abdomen rising and falling with the inhale and the exhale. And bring your awareness back to the body. Imagine in your mind, visualize your body on the mat or the floor. Imagine that you're looking at yourself as if you're looking in a mirror. Remember the color of the clothes that you're wearing. Feel the weight of the texture of the clothes on the skin. Feel the air on the exposed skin. And when you're ready, start to wriggle the fingers and the toes, bring some movement back to the body. When you're ready, rolling over onto the right side, pausing there for a moment. And pressing yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. And just pausing to notice how the body is feeling now. Feel the quality of the breath. And notice how your mind is feeling now. Getting ready to close the practice by chanting 3 Oms, followed by Om, Shanti, 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 Hare Om. So we'll take one breath to prepare for Om, inhaling when you're ready, and exhaling. Inhaling for Om. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Bring the palms of the hands into the chest. Rub the palms of the hands. Create some heat in the hands. Once you've created enough heat, place the palms over the eyes. Palms. Bring them down over the face and the cheeks. Throat and the neck. Rub the palms together again. Fix the hands, fingers and thumbs, wrists and forearms. Bring the palms together again. Hare Om Tat Sat. Thank you for joining me for today's class.